Before you watch the video, please note that I'm not a historian nor a professional animator, so don't rush to the dislike button as soon as you finish the video. Thanks. When you look at a map of Canada, what do you see? At first you see 10 provinces, 3 territories, the Bay James and the Great Lakes, until you realize that Akpatok Island and Akimiski Island are part of Nunavut, while being closer to the other provinces. But how did this happen? First of all, Canada is a big country, so big that the northernmost provinces don't even have enough people to form their own provincial government. They're called territories, and even though they cover a large land area, with Nunavut having more land area than the entirety of Mexico, and them together being larger than India, once was a time when they were even larger. And fewer, because before 1999, Nunavut didn't exist and was still part of the Northwest Territories. But from 1895 to 1920, the district of Ungava, which is now part of Quebec, and Newfoundland and Labrador, was too part of the Northwest Territories, with a bunch of other districts. Fun fact, this is actually where Ungava comes from, and they have a lot of worldwide distinctions. But what do those districts do? And how do they work? Well, first of all, they don't do much, since they don't have any government and were controlled by an upper government, since they were more or less like modern-day Canadian administrative regions. But how does that explain why did Akpatok Island and Akimiski Island end up in Nunavut? Well, first of all, you need to know about the district of Franklin, which was first part of Norway, until the British transferred it to Canada in 1880 and made it merge with the Northwest Territories in 1894. The district got its name the following year, after a man named Sir John Franklin. However, Norway continued to claim the northernmost island until 1930. But let's go back now, because the district of Ungava is completely claimed by Newfoundland and Labrador and Quebec, and 3 years later occurred the Quebec Boundary Extension Act of 1898, which is one of several extension acts, which we will discuss in another video. This act, however, was an act of the Parliament of Canada, which I'm not going to explain what exactly it is, that expanded the territory of both provinces to what it is today, except for that part. But they for some reason excluded the offshore islands, which remained inside of the Northwest Territories, until it got independent from the Northwest Territories in 1999, which also gave to Nunavut the entirety of the Hudson Bay, until Quebec got mad about it in 2015 because of something they were doing up there. But why did Nunavut get independent from the Northwest Territories? I mean, they are both federal land. How does it matter if Nunavut is a different territory as the Northwest? Well, that's because the Canadian territory have their own territorial government, which works differently from other provincial governments. Example, instead of having political parties, each person represents himself, and unlike the other provinces, they didn't receive their power from the Constitution Act of 1867, and their legislative power comes directly from the federal government, but they still have their own flag and license plate. That's something. So, is Nunavut even a territory? Well, that depends on your definition of the word territory. And for that you'll need... No, just kidding, we don't have a sponsor yet. So for the time being, enjoy some non-copyrighted music.